Thank you very much, The introduction of carbon tax in this country has been one of the biggest robberies carried out by white-collar people in this island. Everything the Rural Independent Group has said when it was introduced has come true. It would price car fuel through the roof, and it did. It would price home heating oil through the roof, and it has. Electricity bills will go through the roof, and it has. And so much more. I could go on here for the day. What saddens me is that it was a Green Party dream to grab this money from the rural people for their little pet projects, mainly in our capital, but they were aided and abetted by Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin, Labour, Soc Dems and a few nod and wink independents. Even that we were making it very clear that this would hurt the hard-working people in mainly rural areas but also urban areas. One cock-up after another has been announced by the Greens as they dish out the carbon tax money on their pet projects, 2.4 million on 3 electric buses in the capital, while rural areas are seeing poor public transport delivery, as Connecting Ireland is turning out to be disconnecting Ireland. 20% delivery and a proposed 50% decrease on public transport for our youth is now only being delivered in the capital, only as rural commercial operators can't deliver it outside the capital. Another farce and a kick in the teeth to those who within their party support that carbon tax. I do have to say, though, that Sinn Féin come into this Dáil day after day shouting against any carbon tax increases. But does he wrap your arms around the Greens the first day and voted for it? Stop running with the hare and chasing with the hound. You can't have everything. You either for carbon tax, when you support it, you must accept you inflicted huge pain on the ordinary people of this country, and now come out and accept your errors and support our Rural Independent Group going ahead. People are suffering severely by your decisions. They are in their homes not being able to turn on their heating, so they can't afford to do so. Our elderly, our youth, the sick, all perish in their homes this winter thanks to you supporting a shocking tax disguised in the name of so-called climate change. You can't buy a bag of coal with the price in this country. No Minister Ryan, aided and abetted by Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, won't allow you to buy a bag of turf, and the next is a bit of timber. All I'm listening to on radio is in this country and in this Dáil is waffle. RTE had an expert on last Saturday morning. He was more like a comedian when he said that burning wet turf is bad for the environment. What in God's name is wrong with the man? No one ever in rural Ireland burned wet turf. If in God's earthly name, why don't these TV stations put on people who know what they're talking about? I could not believe my ears when I heard TD inside here saying last night we should be mining turf. Well, if he was in a Popeye comedy sketch, he wouldn't come up with that kind of a comment. And there's another deputy from his own party, and she's falling over herself in here every day. She has an opportunity shouting to in fossil fuels, while at the same time I see her driving a diesel guzzling van every day coming and going from the Dáil. The same with so many more in here, saying one thing and doing another, expecting people won't see and they think they will get away with it. The Rural Independent Group have been the only group here that the public can rely on. In a recent poll I carried out in the constituency of Cork South West, I had asking my constituents should carbon tax continue. I got an emphatic 85% saying no way. It was a straight yes or no poll, but many went on to vent their anger as to why this cruel and hurtful tax should be stopped. I will promise the people of West Cork, all 85% of you, that I will fight tooth and nail to get rid of carbon tax, lock, stock and barrel. Imagine the promise made here in the Dáil for its introduction. Now we see carbon tax raking 652 million in 2021, and only 130 million was ring-fenced. The rest went into the big black hole, and that was our government. We want to know, where is the rest of this money? Why hasn't it gone out to this climate action that you're shouting about, or has it gone for little nod and wink projects in your constituency so you can get yourselves across the line in the next election? You won't succeed because they're waiting for you out there, lads. Can anyone here imagine our Taoiseach going to Europe a few weeks ago to so-called get VAT reduced on fuel? I didn't for European leaders to hear he came back and imposed a fuel increase in carbon tax in May so they can grab more tax again from the most vulnerable in our society. Look at the haulage companies, look at the farmers, contractors as well, look at boat owners, all saying the most valuable machine they have in their property is the tractor, the lorry or the boat that's parked up. I have been saying here for some time, you are grinding this great country to a halt here as you have destroyed our great economy. Some farm contractors are facing wipeout. One of these told me in West Cork his cost this year will increase by 140,000. No one can sustain these cost and hikes. Thank you.